not even the greatest minds of the world could decipher these codes. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 uncracked codes and ciphers. For this list, we've chosen codes and ciphers based on their overall notoriety and whether or not they've been completely solved. We're not looking at cold cases or unsolved murders for this list, unless they involve some sort of code, cause that's a list for another day. Number 10. The Dagapayev cipher. Starting our list off strong is this still undeciphered code, originally published as a final challenge to cryptographers and cryptanalysts in Alexander Dagapayev's fundamental book on the topic, Codes and Ciphers. And quite possibly encrypted using nulls or even the Polybius square, the Dagapayev cipher remains unsolved even today. It likely will for a while too, as even its creator publicly admitted he'd forgotten how it had been encrypted. Number 9. The Dorabella cipher. A composer famed for pieces like the Enigma Variations and Pomp and Circumstance, Edward Elgar was also fascinated by codes and wrote this one to his young friend Dora Penny on July 14, 1897. Made up of 87 characters written across 3 rows and consisting of what look like 24 different symbols, the cipher does not likely contain any earth-shattering information. However, the fact that there have been many unsuccessful attempts to crack it, as well as proposed solutions, makes the Dorabella cipher an enduring mystery. Number 8. Kryptos. If you're ever at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, you might see a large copper sculpture. That's Kryptos, created by Jim Sanborn and dedicated in 1990. Consisting of 4 encrypted messages that have fascinated both pros and amateurs alike, all but one has been solved. But that one uncracked code is one of the world's most famous. The artist did reveal that there's another riddle to solve, which will only be evident once all sections are decrypted. And with a name that comes from the Greek word for hidden, it may be a while yet. Number 7. The Shugborough inscription. Located on the grounds of Shugborough Hall in Staffordshire, England, the Shepherd's Monument was erected in the mid-18th century and features a stone-carved copy of Nicolas Poussin's painting, The Shepherds of Arcadia. But the most intriguing part may be the letters carved below the painting. O-U-O-S-V-A-V-V, found between the letters D and M. Possibly connected to the Holy Grail, possibly a simple memorial, the Shugborough inscription is an uncracked ciphertext that stumped great minds like Josiah Wedgwood, Charles Darwin, and Charles Dickens. Number 6. The Voynich manuscript. Named for the Polish bookseller who bought it in 1912, the Voynich manuscript is a codex handwritten on vellum pages and featuring illustrations of stars, plants, and more. Likely created in the early 15th century and probably missing several pages, it's riveted cryptographers since its discovery and played a part in pop culture phenomena like the Indiana Jones book series and the Assassin's Creed video game franchise. However, despite its fame, no one has produced a verifiable solution, with some even declaring its content is complete nonsense. Number 5. The Beale ciphers. Also known as the Beale Papers, this collection of 3 ciphertexts, 2 of which remain unsolved, describes a treasure buried in Bedford County, Virginia by someone named Thomas J. Beale. The solved portion, decrypted using the U.S. Declaration of Independence, explains a prize of gold, silver, and jewels worth upwards of $63 million. The unsolved portions outline where it's hidden and its rightful owners. With some suggesting Beale never existed, that Edgar Allan Poe wrote the papers, or that the entire thing is a hoax, this one remains a mystery. Anyone up for a treasure hunt? Number 4. Linear A. Supposedly used by the ancient Greeks, Linear A is a writing system consisting of hundreds of signs uncovered primarily on Crete that remains unreadable, which was the main written language used by the Minoan civilization in palace and religious texts. Its sister system, Linear B, was largely deciphered in the 1950s, and an attempt was made to use it to decode Linear A. However, the result was mainly nonsense words, suggesting the core language of Linear A is a tongue unknown to us, which has since been christened the Minoan language. Number 3. the 340-character Zodiac cipher. A serial killer who terrified Californians and baffled authorities in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Zodiac Killer is infamous, not only because of his crimes and the fact that his identity remains unknown, but also because of the taunting codes he sent to San Francisco Bay Area press, one of which remains unsolved. Mailed November 8, 1969, the code consists of 340 characters. The FBI has since enlisted the help of professional and amateur cryptographers, but to no avail. While numerous solutions have been proposed, none is considered definitive. Number 2. The Chinese Gold Bar Cipher. As the story goes, 7 gold bars were distributed to a General Wang in Shanghai, China in 1933. The gold bars themselves are decorated with pictures, Chinese writing, script writing of some type, and codes in Latin letters. The Chinese gold bars are supposedly metal certificates linked to a possible deposit with a United States bank. However, with little proof as to their legitimacy, many argue against their veracity. Real or not, no one has solved the ciphers found on these gold bars. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. The Phaistos Disk. One of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. The reason, significance, and source of the Phaistos Disk are all wildly disputed. Discovered in 1908, but likely created in the 2nd millennium BC, and probably originating from the Minoan palace of Phaistos on Crete. It's a piece of fired clay featuring 45 signs that signify ordinary things like an arrow, eagle, lily, and more. It's been compared to Linear A, as well as hieroglyphics from both the Anatolian and Egyptian civilizations. But most archaeologists agree that unless more examples of this same language are found, the Phaistos disk will likely remain unsolved. Do you agree with our list? Which uncracked code or cipher fascinates you the most? For more easily decipherable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.